Alright, so what you guys should have at this point are 3 different wall types. You should have your soldier course, your divider wall, and then this common course. So if you haven't made those already, make them using the supplements. And so then the thing we need to do is make a stacked wall, and it's a little tricky as far as it's just not intuitive how to do it, because what you have up here are or I should say inside of here, as far as different wall types, we have all the kind of ones that the basic walls that they've created for us, plus then our custom ones, and then you have curtain walls. But what we're looking for right here is stacked wall, and so that's going to be the kind of, if you do not see this, you should see this. You have to scroll all the way down. So let's just go ahead and click on that, and you can see that I immediately turned my that soldier one into this. It's kind of have a preloaded stacked wall. So let's go ahead and see what happens when we edit type. Okay, so this is what it looks like. You have basically only a few parameters, not the same ones you're used to. So what we're going to do is we're again duplicate and create our stacked wall. So say okay, and then we're going to go into structure, and again we don't really see what we are used to. We kind of see a very simple breakdown of the structure, which essentially is, if you click on the name, you basically only have your basic walls to select from. So it's, you know, probably intuitive at this point what we're going to do, but let's go ahead and make sure we do it right. We're going to use the supplements. So here we can see that we want to have, first we want to have our CMU course, and then we're going to have the soldier course, and it's going to be a height of 2 feet. So that's kind of what we need to do. So I am just going to get rid of that, and we will mimic it. So down here we wanted to have the soldier course, and we want it to be 2 feet. And up here we want it to be our just kind of typical course, and say okay. So again, the stacked wall is made up of basic walls, and it just allows you to define a height that you want one wall to be, and then above that another wall. And you saw in the original example that it had, and I'll just turn this one over to that original example. Oh, if you have trouble and you don't see this, what you can do is go under families and scroll down to the bottom to walls, and you should see a stacked wall. And if you want to then just duplicate it, it essentially is the same thing that we did before with creating a coffee shop, only now we have a duplicate that we would rename here to whatever we want, and then go through that same process. So just in case you didn't, you know, kind of miss that. So I'm going to delete my duplication. I don't really need that. And so we can see that what allowing us to have this stacked wall is we've defined kind of what this looks like here. You know, one thing I've noticed, and this kind of gets into one more thing about how to edit materials, and we'll get more and more involved in that as we move into the class. But one thing you might notice, like, well, that soldier course, it's not like we have a brick that is that kind of tall. So why is that creating, that pattern? And I think it's just the nature of they didn't do it right. So if you want to fix that, what we're going to do is we'll just go ahead and assign this back to a soldier. And then I'm going to edit type, and I'm going to go into the brick material. And in here you can see the pattern that is created. And let's go ahead and look at that. So this is the pattern. So what we're going to do is edit that. And you can see in here what it's doing is that it's basically drawing one line every 2 and whatever this happens to be, nearly 5/8 or something. It's drawing it 90 degrees from horizontal, so it's just a pattern like that. So what we want is to actually then get a crosshatch and get this second pattern that's the vertical. What it automatically does is put the same length, but I think what we want is this to be at 7 inches and whatever, and say okay. And now what you've done is you've edited that material so that, and its appearance. So when we get back to the actual wall, you can see now it's like really looks perfect. And if we then assign it the stacked wall, you can see it looks great. It looks exactly kind of what we would intend. One thing that I do see, it kind of has that little extra bump, and I'm kind of going to be a little bit of perfectionist, and I think you should be too. We probably don't want that, so I'm going to show you a different way to get to that material. Instead of going through the editor, what we're going to do is we're going to go to manage and then hit materials, and then here you can select your brick, go back into that pattern, and let's do one more modification. Instead of being this 7 and whatever, let's just make it 8 inches. And that's going to mean that when we give it 2 feet, it's going to course out just right. And now it looks clean. It looks perfect. All right, that's it.